Hello, and welcome to Distant Dungeons. We are live once more, and unlike usual, we are going to be doing another episode of Age of the Sleeping Gods. I know we did one last week, but some scheduling issues came up, and as far as availability, it seemed like this was the best way to move forward. So, a bit of a treat for anyone who enjoys the Sleeping Gods. Quick recap, since it's only been a week. Last week, we had our party arriving at the second set of forges in the Forge of Promise as they slowly build their soon-to-be deific weapons. They had learned some memories, discovered a memory each, and also Ostra having a moment to speak with this entity, referring to itself as the Great Lattice, seemingly Ostra's patron, and perhaps someone from her past. Zenkila having experienced what might have been one of the first major rituals that Zenkila did in her life. And Selene uncovering a bit more the follow-up memory to his first one and discovering more of the potential of his progeny being around. But yeah, after that, you gave up some of your features into the forges. Zenkila giving up her arcane recovery, and Ostre her Pact of the Blade feature. Both potent abilities that have now been promised to the forge. After that, the creatures that had been in the subsidiary rooms to this area seem to appear before you at the door of the forge, and some entity, some force, most have identified it to be this waking god's representative that is currently ruling over Ankam's territory, seemed to make itself present and attacked you, claiming that the forge is no longer yours and that you are intruders. It asked for you to leave, but to give the runes, the key to the forge, which you obviously denied, and you fought. It was a bit harrowing. Some of you got pretty close. Some worthy and honorable soldiers fell in battle, but their cousins will avenge them. But
their children will fight.
Yes. But yeah, you managed to defeat these creatures, remove, or at least allow them the chance to expunge this corruption. And as the moment settled down, you began to tend to your wounds, recover, and find the latent energies to recover whatever you can. And as you did so, the constructs, they had all turned into these puddles of metal, and slowly over the hour, they began to reconstitute. And eventually, as you finish your short rest, the creatures manifest once more, faceless, still long-limbed and eerie, but no porcelain masks to be seen. And they look at you as they have reconstituted where they fell. Obviously, you could have technically short rested outside. I don't know where you would have preferred to be during the short rest. But effectively, they reanimate inside the forge room where they fell. And as they exit, they all kind of look at you as a group, and they just very eerily and kind of echoey just say, "Thank you. We wish you luck. The forge is dangerous now. We will do as we are always supposed to do." And they begin to walk into their rooms. And unless you stop them, but they
Where
move.
were these appearing? What rooms were they in?
So each of them were in the rooms where you uncovered those items. So there was the red room, the green room, the blue room, and the purple room, each of them in one. And they all begin to move each one into one of them. And in fact, after a moment, you begin to hear the as they continue to push the instruments that they seems to be their task. But yeah, you have concluded the short rest. Undead have been healed up. You have used respectively your hit die and done what you can. And Ostra, you are holding them tight, keeping them from releasing, but now you can feel the box with the runes begin to vibrate, and it is ready to reveal the next location to lead you.
Is everyone good to go?
Yep, we can go. I don't think we can
Let's
keep
wrap us, right?
keep it contained.
Alright. So, Ostra, you allow it. You free your grasp from the box. It shoots open.
Sorry.
Yep.
I'm gonna. But in this short rest, could I have copied some spells, or is that not possible? I have the quill that makes me copy faster.
So, basically you have an hour. If I recall, the way spells work is it's 2 hours for every spell level, 1 hour for necromancy spells for you, and then I forget how much the quill does.
It by half, I believe.
Okay, so basically you would have been able to copy 1 first level spell. If there was a necromancy spell, you would have been able to copy a second level one.
Okay.
So
I will go. Thanks.
okay. Lovely. Yeah, but you would have been able to do that if you. So that the runes release. These basically now the only 2 remaining are the ones at each end of the box. As these 2 shoot up, begin to vibrate, and for a moment they kind of stop in midair. And it's weird. Usually they fly off immediately, and in fact, all of you are like ready to begin running, and they're holding in place. And this voice again from before, this calm, it might have been soothing in a different scenario, but to you all, it invokes just that bit of hair-raising itch. You are persistent. I'll give you that. I hope to see you soon, where my eyes are not so distracted. And then the runes shoot up. And there's a moment where you're like, hear the words, not sure what to think about that in that moment as you begin to run. But yeah, if anyone wanted to do anything else, but in this moment, you know, like you're ready to run. Yeah. Otherwise, you begin. You begin to move. And
Can I ask a question?
yes, go ahead.
Because I'm just not relevant, honestly. But
Go.
I'm reading this flame arrow spell. Because I know for sure I will forget to ask you.
Yeah, no, go ahead. Ask.
So it
Let me
says
check.
that the magic. So it's concentrated for 1 hour, but it says that the spell's magic ends when the piece of ammunition hits or misses. In theory, if I were to stop concentration, will that quiver still have the spell, or is it
So,
just based on like hit or miss?
so basically, what it's implying is, so concentration has to last for the spell to be in effect. So once your concentration ends, all the ammunition becomes mundane again. But the way it's working is, so you touch a quiver, so basically you get 12 shots. Like once you've done 12 shots, the spell also ends, even if you're maintaining concentration.
Thanks.
Yeah. So that's why it's a hit or miss. So whatever, like whether you hit or miss, it's 12 shots. If you miss with one of those shots, it's kind of, it's wasted.
Yeah. No worries. Thank you.
Yeah. So, Danik, you begin to move. Thilen, you are now more aware of what is happening as you move. already had a bit of an inkling before, but having gone through this central node of the forge, having inspected this abacus, it seems to be some kind of map, you are now understanding that, much like how you traverse the Dreamlands, the forge has its own system that potentially someone could navigate should they want to and should they have the skill set for. But you are moving along the runes. Potentially the runes might be doing effectively what you would do in the Dreamlands. And it's like, it's interesting. Something that would intrigue Selene in the sense of just similar magic, which is odd because it's very unique. To see it being done somewhere else. Yeah. You begin to move. And again, you start to see claw marks across the walls. These massive, very precise, like they are not jagged, they are clean, but clearly like a hand having scratched across the side of the wall. And that, for the most part, there is no traps, there are no enemies before you. You move through the area quietly. With ever so often, all of you hear this like, just something at like the corner of your perception, just hearing a laugh, a whisper of something. It's difficult to pin down. You begin, the more you move, the more you pass from one corridor to the next, to the next, to the next. It begins to get louder and more discernible. It is a bit of laughing. A very like, kind of a bit of a hearty laugh. And eventually words start coming through. And it's like, they're not really in the corridor. It's coming from nowhere. But it's ahead of you. But it's not sourced, like, in the physical space. And you just hear, I wonder where they're coming from. Oh, you... Shush. Don't ruin it. But we can't... I can't wait, you know. I just... I'm excited. You're always excited. You hear this conversation. The runes are moving ahead. I'm not sure if you want to do anything in this moment.
Can we identify where the sound is coming from? Is there a door or something, or is it further down the hallway?
It's not even down the hallway ends and you move into another corridor. It's as if it's coming from your destination. It's like wherever you're bound to end up, you are hearing a conversation happen. Now the runes don't move excessively fast. As long as like they move 30 feet around. So you're not like dashing to catch up to them. So if there is something you wanted to do, you could. Basically you have like an action free using your movement.
I will send Gestus ahead of us.
Okay.
To stealthily, if he can scout. Maybe we can have eyes on what this might be. Unless you have a better idea. Somebody else.
If you would like, because Selene can cast Pass Without a Trace.
Yep, that's a good idea.
Alternatively, he can move faster than all of you. So
I think we should have that for us.
You don't have to flex that much, you know.
But if this sounds like it's going to be a trap for
Selene
us,
Selene go brr.
if this sounds like this is going to be a trap for us, we might as well all be stealthed then.
Yeah,
I will remind you that you can't go too far ahead than everyone else, as that basically the most you can get. I would reasonably say you can do 60 feet ahead, but you're risking kind of vibe. But 60 is like the upper limit of how ahead
Yeah.
someone can be.
I'm curious.
No,
Can
no.
I?
It's
can
like
I-
either or, basically.
Can I roll for my snake?
Mhm.
Basically, can I roll for him and Zenkilla can tell how sneaky he is? Is that like
Like, it's like technically you can do that naturally. It's like you're gonna the snake is gonna stealth. Zenkilla has perception. If your passive perception or your active perception beats the snake's stealth, I mean,
okay? So I can't. That's not a
no. It's fine.
Okay, good, because it's dog shit.
Okay, no,
Okay, now I think we'll go in blind then. Fuck it.
yeah.
I
The
think, but I
snake-
think pass on the trace is a good idea.
This begins to move and is like he tries to blend with the ground, but he does the inverse of like rather than following the cracks, he's moving exactly opposite the cracks. So it's like he's a perfectly like
He missed his mirror.
Crack is moving.
Or to be fair, I rolled a 12.
okay. 12 isn't
But-
that bad. Yeah.
Any passive perception is going to be higher than that for sure.
12 isn't
If
that
they're
bad.
actively looking for us.
That's also technically no.
I think that he'll stick with us.
But yeah,
I'll-
yeah.
I'll stand for that.
You certainly notice him. I think if your passive perception is greater than 12, you're already like
Come back, buddy. Come back.
yeah. Okay, so pass without a trace.
Yes.
Yeah, I'll cast Pass Without a Trace.
You cast it up. You create the sphere of darkness around you as the shadows pull off from the walls and the columns of the forge, and provide you some concealment. And you continue to move.
Do we
And-
roll or no?
Yeah, you can give me the roll now.
I
Everyone?
roll for each home.
No. One roll for all of them.
I take mine, or I do it for them.
Do one for them just because their bonus is a little bit different than yours, but do one roll for all of them.
The same fucking.
You're adding a plus 10, remember, everyone. It's that.
Yep. So snake and skeletons both 22.
Okay. The snake you wouldn't need to roll for technically, like as long as they're with
I
you.
rolled an 18.
Okay. So 22 and 22 total, Jabiri.
22
With the-
total.
Okay.
By the way, mine is an 18 total.
Okay.
I rolled a
In
3.
that case, damn. In that case, my snake will give me the help action.
Yeah.
Great. That's a natural 20.
Hey, nice. Very nice. Yeah, that helps everyone.
So that's a 33.
Very nice. Selen? Some ungodly
31.
number? Okay. 31.
31 with a dog shit roll.
Yeah, with the dog shit roll. As that is it. Right, lovely.
I got 18 with a dog shit roll, so.
You all move quite stealthily as Oscar, you are a little bit like distracted with your thoughts and like everything that just went down like an hour ago was a little bit overwhelming, so you're not as hyper focused as everyone else, but the shadows provide you enough cover, and at some points both Sinkela and
Thank you.
Silen will just like kind of nudge you along the direction so that your glaive isn't necessarily like clanging against the column.
Thank you, God.
Helping as you all you like very, very effectively. Your total stealth is amazing. You continue to move ahead.
However, their total perception is 45.
Yeah, no, they had like a plus 50 and they rolled a 21 on a 20, so that's how the cookie crumbles. You continue to move through various corridors, and you're realizing it's taking... Time is always weird, and distance is always weird in the Dreamlands, but it is taking longer. It seems like... I would say, Selen, you would be able to interpret this, considering now you have a concept. Like, you wouldn't even need to roll for it. The runes are being somewhat deflected. You're pretty sure something is acting against the traversing of like where you need to go. And sometimes the runes are backtracking and you notice that you go through a corridor that you've been through before, that you're pretty sure you've been through before.
Do they look like they are confused, or does it look like something they are hitting against something and trying to find another path?
It's something. It's not per se bumping. It's not a visual thing. The runes are moving. They are moving in a direction, but it's just when you are kind of being constantly like traversing from one mini plane to the next. It's like visualize each corridor as like having a portal at its start and a portal at its end. And you are just shifting from one portal entry to another. So when the runes are moving, they are kind of making sure that the portal you go through is the right one. And effectively, when that is happening, you're going through the wrong portal every so often. Yeah.
Is it like when you take a wrong turn on Google Maps and it is trying its best to recalibrate the route?
That feels closer. That kind of feels closer to how best to describe this. But they are making headway. You notice that the runes are noticing and they are course correcting. But every time these voices are getting louder, and you begin to also hear kind of rattling of chains. And you just...
Do you mind?
Of course.
Can I try do an Arcana check to see if there's anything that is either looking at us, following us, or illusionary around us?
Okay. Yeah, give me an Arcana check.
Just
If everyone else wants to, you can either do Arcana, or I will also allow a Insight check.
I don't think you'd allow help from the snake. Eh?
For this, no. It's a little bit
They're
more.
both the same, so I'm gonna try insight since someone is already doing
13 is not very good.
Okay.
12 total.
16.
Okay. 16. Alright. All of you have this background feeling that you are being watched, and that is prevalent. But it's not an active thing. You're pretty sure it's not like a scrying thing.
Yeah,
that's like... You're pretty sure it's not that. As far as illusions go and like effects, it's very hard to like... You're kind of moving, you have shadows all around you, which is in and itself, I think, an illusory effect.
More to see if like maybe if I can understand if the runes are like sensing something blocking the way kind of thing, like an illusionary defense or
whatever it is, it's not illusionary and it's not actively like present around you. You think it's more the forge has an issue. But there is the sense of you're being watched, but it's not like active. It's more like a feeling, like an itch of just like every so often you look behind you while you're running and it's like it doesn't make sense, but you do it. But you begin to hear this rattling of chains, and you just hear, I just can't wait. I can't wait for them to get here. We can have fun if they are just... I wonder if they're kind. I wonder if they're peaceful. And as... There are two
How
voices.
does that peaceful make me feel?
There are these two voices that they seem to be in conversation. These very like grunty, kind of very guttural voices. I guess if you want to, I'll allow people to give me like I can call this like a nature check.
Are they similar to the golems we heard?
No, it's like there is a artificialness, but it's very different. Those were like raspy, like the constructs. Their natural state were very raspy and echoey. The voice that came out of them when they had the
That's
lust,
it, I'm changing dice set.
yeah, go ahead. Was calm and quiet. This is more like two brutes in a tavern
Okay.
vibe.
Big, though.
They sound big, yes.
Hefty at least.
Yes.
And then they are two gnomes.
Yeah, it could be.
Dirty 20 for me.
Dirty 20, okay.
It's a 7 for me.
Okay.
The dirtiest.
The dirtiest.
Then
that- Okay. So Zenkila, like hearing these voices, you're thinking like, is it like the constructs, the things you saw before? And you do think these creatures are some kind of constructs. The voices do not sound organic. There is some kind of like metally, almost the way the voices are being projected are some kind of arcane element. And you pick that up. Otherwise, the heftiness is coming through. You're pretty sure these creatures are probably big. The way they sound, they might be at least pretty sure they're large. They might be more, but at least large for sure. You can hear the chains, and they don't make that much noise, but you can hear it every so often when like a voice is speaking. You hear even like a couple of steps along with those chains, and then it stops, and they are just talking. And yes, at that last word, and just one voice was being excited, and one voice sounds very excited. It's like, oh, I hope they come soon. I hope they come soon. And then this other voice is more like collected and just yes. They will come soon. I just hope we can do something, and we can. Oh, I hope they'll be kind and they'll be peaceful. And as
You sound
old,
wiser.
it's more, yeah, you could say one is wiser than the other, I guess. The
question,
vibe of...
a bit of a meta question.
Sure.
You're sounding a lot like Russell when he does Onslaught. Is that intentional or is it just...
No.
Okay, thank you.
No, it's not Sam, so...
Okay, so upon hearing this, I will, noting that my charisma is +1, I will let Ostray go ahead of me, because
Okay.
I feel like
Lol.
charisma based should be quite useful here. And I will hearing that note about peacefulness, I will not remove the weapons from the skeletons. They would just be not like holding them threateningly.
You are still stealthed as well.
I know, but just as a preparation when we...
Good. So, and with that last word, unless anyone else wants to do any other prep, because the voices are coming through, there's time.
When don't the voices come through?
No, it's just like every so often the conversation lulls and then they start talking again.
No. I'm being silly.
Okay.
Voices not
Being a
come through.
goofy guy.
I see. With that last word, at the end of whatever conversation they were having, the runes seem to finally manage to arrive somewhere. And they lead you into this... It seems like it's an open... not an open per se, but it is a singular spherical room with the forge doors ahead.
Or just like a room before.
Yeah, like a singular room in front of it, exactly. You kind of walk in, the shadows creating a barrier, and as the runes shoot up, you hear these voices and immediately see the source of them. These two large, kind of armored statues, and they seem to have a kind of like etched face on the statue. It is not a porcelain mask.
Thank you.
But there are these two creatures, the best you could say, like they seem to be statues, and they are carved to look as if they are wearing armor. But it seems like it is a singular metal. It's not like they are wearing something. And they stand there, and then they see the runes, and their eyes like fall. It's like, oh, they're here. But wait, but they're not here. I don't see them. Do you see them? No. No.
I want to imagine about every no they're re-rolling their perception check.
No, I just don't.
No.
No. Ah,
No.
yes.
Yeah.
And they just begin to kind of like look around.
Anything else in the room that
There is There is nothing else in the room.
No, no anvil, no statues, nothing.
No, there is the door to the forge that seems to be behind them, where the runes have shot forward and have allowed the door to open. And it seems like inside, like behind them, basically, there is the forge.
Straight. Just go forward.
Fine.
It is, the room is like a 15-foot radius, so 30-foot diameter room. It is a spherical, it is circular, with a bit of a dome at the top. But truly, nothing in here, like, immediately catches your attention. You can all give me a perception check, though, just to see if
I would
maybe...
like a percentage check to look for anything invisible.
Okay. Yeah.
Can I use the help
I would
action?
like to perceive what there,
Yeah, sure,
what
yeah.
there isn't.
That actually helped. 21.
Okay. Anyone else looking to do a perception check?
A 15,
I'm thinking.
15? Okay.
6.
Okay.
Not 20.
Not 20. Okay. So, you kind of begin to take in the room a little bit more. There is just barely enough light that is mostly coming from the forge room that has opened, and some other like source of... There is no like clear source, but the room is at least dimly lit. With slightly like it gets brighter near to the forge. You kind of begin to take in the space, all of you a little bit holding your breath, because you are effectively out in the open. There is nothing really to hide behind. They're just the shadows are providing you cover, that you are effectively using the void of the portal that you walked through to just stay there. Like the second you move in front of a wall, you're gonna be more perceptible because there's going to be just a pitch black of shadows against the dim light. But right now, you're fine. And it's just like, and you're like waiting for them, like they turn around and they seem to talk again. Say, how long are we going to wait? I don't know, we just have to wait. We were made to wait. Yes, but I get tired. And they seem to talk. Zenkela, you like Selen, you look around, there's nothing generally that like, you're pretty sure there aren't creatures. And that's to all of you. You're pretty sure there aren't any other creatures barring these two. Austria, more specifically, I would confirm that there is indeed no invisible creatures. As far as what there is in the room, there is no objects, but there are clearly more claw marks in this room along the walls. And there are some like runes that might have been etched in this space, but they are no longer, they have been destroyed effectively by the claw marks. It's hard to like even read them and analyze them. You might be able to if you really like spend some time focusing, but at its base they look dismantled. Like whatever the runes might have once done, probably its effect has dissipated. But yeah.
Any chance I can, just from where I am, understand what the runes may have done?
Give me an Arcana check. And Osre, you can do the same because you have also detected these runes.
God damn it. Dog shit. 10.
Okay.
17 total.
17. With the 10, Zenkela, you're kind of like looking at them. Not sure. Like, on a like scientific Arcana level. Ostre, you look at them and it's like, no, they aren't doing anything anymore. And you're looking at them, and this is an effect similar of like, maybe they are more like a divine thing, something around Ankam, that is just allowing you to maybe perceive them a little bit better. They are some kind of story similar to the runes you deciphered in the other space.
But they are no longer like.
But they are, yeah, it's to be
They're
able
not gonna give us Nazebo does the shit.
Hmm?
They aren't going to give us
to...
Nazebo.
No. The most you can get is maybe what it's about. It's about two brothers. And that's as most that you can...
One chance. I know I can't see them well, but do the runes look like they've been like aggressively removed, like out of rage or anger?
Yes, it seems like they have been deliberately damaged. Like the claw marks have struck through the runes in a very...
No pattern, it's just like a bunch of scratches.
No, it's not. It's very methodological in the way that it looks. It looks like the runes have been specifically like the way that they've been scratched. It's like there are some... Like it knew that it was whatever was trying to destroy them was trying to destroy them. It wasn't just it happened to...
Do the statues have claws?
No. They do seem to have what looks like weapons on their backs, but no claws. Their fists seem like gauntlets, like
Okay, so
like
it's not
armored
them.
hands. You wouldn't assume so? Yeah. And yeah, these creatures seem to continue to just well, I guess we just keep waiting. They begin. One of them begins like spits, and this like charcoal, this flaming charcoal, just kind of like hits the floor, and then turns to dust, leaving no trace behind.
I will nudge Austria forward.
Okay, I'm going.
You're
Jesus.
charming. You're charming.
They opened the forge. The runes are here. They should be here at any point.
I will take a step forward and be like, hello there.
Len takes a step back.
We're just travelers.
You step forward, stepping out, saying that as you step out of the shadows. And both of them just immediately like, oh! They stand up, and one of them goes, and they would actually like, their hand goes for the weapon, and then, oh, yes, the Spellbreaker.
That's
Where are your friends? They seem to go into a calm again. You startled us.
apologies. My friends are. Well, let's just say that we didn't have the warmest of welcomes up to now, so we are a bit on edge, so to speak.
Good. You should be.
Who am I speaking to, may I ask?
Oh, I am Dunfer, and this is my brother,
Galfer and Galfer.
Dunfer and Gunfer.
Okay.
Yes.
I am Ostre. Good to meet you.
Ah, a name to the title. This is good. We have heard of you.
Only good things, I hope.
Yes. The other brother knocks him against the shoulder. Good things indeed, Spellbreaker. Good things indeed. So,
Ostre notices and like smiles a bit.
you've come to the Forge of Promise, and I take it you've had quite the journey. We are glad you've managed to arrive here.
How come you are, forgive me for asking, but how come you are normal? We run into creatures of, how can I explain this?
The masked boys, the masked people.
Yes.
Yes. Well, complicated for me to explain how.
Okay, what I want to say rather than Dana, we run into creatures of Kazal. How
Ah,
come you are safe?
well, I guess we're just thick-headed. Yes, there are others, denizens of the forge. Used to be denizens of the forge, anyway. New management, I guess. Not many people took it well, and not many people have as much of resolve and blessing, I guess.
I
Then
see. Can I try to roll a perception to try and see if they are bullshitting me or
you
something?
can do an insight check.
Yes, I never remember which is the correct one.
Yeah. All of you can. You are hearing this, and you are able to perceive them. For constructs, because you are sure they are constructs, they seem very emotive.
13 total.
13 total,
19.
19,
12.
12. You're pretty certain they are being honest.
Maybe not on the part of the good things I heard about me, but like
Yeah,
on what
basically,
matters they are honest.
for the most part, they are seem honest. Their body language is like forthcoming. At most, like if you hunker down on that moment, you're like, there's probably more to the story.
Yes,
and
yes,
it's
but
just
like
yeah,
for what matters
Yeah.
there, we are not gonna be swarmed by creatures
No,
of
that's-
Kazal
well,
if
that's
we
at least from their end, no.
no, like they
Yeah.
are not going to sell us out.
Yeah, you don't think so. Yeah. To all of you, that seems to be the case. They're very easy to read. Yeah, and they just well, yes. Unfortunately, we can't roam like we used to, so we can't quite keep the forge safe like we used to.
And why can't you roam? Is it because of the creatures or did something happen to you?
This one points with its thick, gauntleted hand and points at the runes. That was it binds us to the forge. That thing, the thing that
The runes?
the master built. Yes, the runes. That's what they call them. It let us walk through the various areas of the forge. It let us affect and but it is broken, so we are in a way trapped here. Yeah.
Okay,
But at least we made sure that if we're going to be trapped anywhere, we'd be trapped in front of one of the main forge rooms. Keep it safe.
yeah, that does seem a good thing. Ostra is going to like turn around and like whistle very loudly, like one of those long whistles to call the others to be like, come in.
I will go.
Okay, Stefan. Oh!
I will wait a moment.
I'll leave my guys next to Solanda.
Okay. You step out as well. Ah, another. Excellent. So you
Yes.
I guess you're a bit lost in the doors, in the rooms and whatnot. Welcome. Dunfer, Gunfer, Ostre.
Pleasure.
Yes, we know of each other.
Good.
She's a companion.
I would assume so, but I was saying names
Yeah.
at that point. I wanted to keep going.
Understandable.
The other brother just. Oh, Dunfer.
Zenkila. The runes that we noticed, they seem to have been scratched out. Can you help me try and make sense of possibly how to restore them to allow our friends to be able to move within this place?
Oh, would you be able to restore them? That would be
Or
impressive.
that Mr. Gunter-
Maybe, a big, huge maybe. I'm more of a fighter than anything else. Just at least have an idea of the amount of damage that has been done.
Yes.
If I may, Mr. Do you have a surname?
No, just Dunfer and Gunfer.
Mr. Dunfer, Mr. Gunfer. What is your role here? And can we just pass through?
Oh, yes, of course. You can just certainly pass through. We will make sure to try to keep it safe should anything come
What's your
through.
role here? Guard.
We are, well, this is our home. where I guess our second home. It's a long story. I can't quite remember it well, actually, now that I think about it. But
Okay.
we mainly protect here, travel. We used to be able to walk through the forge, and we would help the forge masters and forge mistresses should they need anything. Kept it protected. Should anything attack, the forge tended to have a lot of thieves and would be so-called adventurers who would try to use the forge without permission, and we would make sure that the forge masters would stay safe.
I will have a little look at the runes, although I don't have the tools nor the spell casting to spare to actually do anything about it. But I will have a look.
At least I'm not asking you to fix it. I'm just asking you at least to assess the damage.
I'll have a look.
You begin to take a
I'll
look.
check the accuracy.
Yeah, give me a. I'll allow this to be like Arcana with advantage because you have time and you have snack, and also every so often like Gunfer will actually like step over and be like, I think this one was really important, and just
It's at 23.
23. Okay. So it was hard to understand what it was about. And you're realizing now why. This is more of a divine incantation as opposed to an arcane one. So the language, like the magic language, is a little bit not unknown to you because you've studied it. You've studied it enough to be able to. But yeah, a bit difficult. More so because this might not be the divine language you're more familiar with. You are more used to Hayek's divine stuff. This seems to be Ankam. And like you can very immediately notice, you can see the symbol of Ankam every so often being used or shaped in such a way to create a rune. Especially when they seem to point out specific runes that you notice are like conflux runes, these like central, more important runes that connect to other runes. In your mind, you're like, with time and some effort when it comes to spending spells, basically, if you were to spend spell points and some time, you would be able to reforge parts of this and potentially over time even be able to fix it. But you know it would take
How much
time.
time do I think that might be? Days?
Fully fix it, you're not even certain. But you know you can fix some of these like central nodes, like relatively with like an hour or so.
Oh, okay.
It is more so you think you'd need to spend spell points.
Yeah.
Reasonably you're looking at like a third level's worth for every central node rune, and you're pretty sure that within the hour you could do like 2 or 3.
Since it's Ankam's stuff,
What?
can I give a
Oh.
look too?
You could. You would follow with Senkela. Like, you can make a roll of your own. But
Arcana?
effectively, yeah, Arcana would be
Um,
And another 12 total.
okay. You're not.
Wait,
You don't learn.
do I have advantage?
Yeah, there's like Gunfer and Dumfer who
Just-
can provide
just a
advantage.
checking.
There's 2 of them, so each.
Not 20.
Okay.
nice.
Okay.
Do
If you
I
want.
think that with these 1 or 2 main runes, would that do anything to help them move, or is it like?
So you're looking at it and you're like, you're not sure. And then Ostre comes over and like begins to follow like where you were checking, and it's like, okay, all right. And then like Dunfair looks at you, Ostre, and is just like, this one is really, really super important. I'm not entirely sure why. And you're looking at it, and for a brief moment as you touch it, your vision is taken to a moment where you see this room. You see it active with people around. These like men and women of various species and various Dana walking around, and these 2 statues looking a lot more pristine. Like right now, they look dusty and not per se decaying. Like they're still like sturdy, but they seem very dusty. And here, there's this moment, and you're seeing this, and you see this rune, and you see the runes all like nice and complete. And you see like this one looks like kind of tiefling with clearly like smith's tools, and Dana walks past. It's like, morning, Dunfer! Morning, Dunfer! Morning! Morning! And they just are kind of, do you need some help? Oh, no, I'll be fine. I think the Forge Mistress needed you, though. If you can go get her some mithril. I think she was working on one of the chess pieces for the new stock. Yeah, sure. I will get that done. And you see Gunther just begins to move and walks off. And you see the rune glow as he walks away. And you're brought back in this big moment. And in that space and looking at it, you're just like, you're pretty sure it would be helpful to do this specific rune that you happen to like find that that Dunfer basically pointed out for you. You're like, even just this one on its own would be enough to allow them to potentially like move around a little bit. Yeah, and what I'll add to that, as like you're piecing together with Zenkela, you're unsure how to fix it. That's more like Zenkela is understanding how to do that intricate part. You're understanding it's more where it's more important to put the energy, and you're pretty sure you'd be able to substantiate the magical portion for Zenkela. Like Zenkela can make the rune, and then you can spend the spell slot for it.
I will tell her this.
Yeah.
Okay, so
I saw this, and this. I saw a whole snippet of their past of people walking around in the forge and just existing. I might be able to give you the spells that's needed to fix this mess up, but it's up to you. I don't want to force you into.
yeah, no issue from my end. Would I know what kind of tools I need to do this?
Basically, using your quill is already going to be very, like,
Okay.
it's like it's not going to.
I use the quill that can copy faster.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. That basically, if you use that, you're pretty sure, like, without.
Yeah, I'll get to work. I mean, Senkira likes this kind of like this crafting and stuff. So.
Yeah. So you begin to work on it. So effectively, this is going to take a while.
Side note, with my clock, I regained 7 points, right?
Yes.
Because of the short rest.
Yeah.
Okay, I get 7 per short rest, remember?
No, not per short rest. Wait, not for the short. You gain 7 from its starting attunement. When you attune to it, it gains 7 charges.
Can I gain?
So with the short rest, you would have been able to gain, I think, half your level.
Oh, okay. So it's 3.
I have not committed it to memory fully. I will check.
I'm checking.
We're gonna be here for a while, so maybe you want to pop into the forge. You can take my skeletons with you. See what's up.
The clock may also regain equal to half your level. So you can regain 3 extra charges. So it would have 10 total right now.
No, it would have 6 because I used some of them.
Oh, you used some of them? Okay. I don't know how many you've used.
I've used 1 4th level, so I had 7, now I have 3, now I have 6.
Yes, exactly, correct. Yep.
I will ask.
So whilst this was happening, I was going to ask the DM.
Yep.
If it would be possible for me to like kind of like sneak into the forge room and see that like everything is okay in there.
Yeah, you walk in. It's very
walk back out.
Very easy enough. They seem like as they start working on this, even Gunther and Dunfer are helping them, so it's very easy to like just walk past. If the skeletons want to move with Selene, it's Zenkela's call, but they can be.
I'll send everyone. I'll even send my snake over to help.
Yeah, moves with you, Sulan. The forge does light up a little bit as you enter, and Gumfer and Dumfer turn. Look at the two of you. Is the Dreamwalker
yes.
with you? Is okay, so that's
Yes, yes.
okay.
He is
It
walking
just
after that.
it's
Good.
just
That's
rather
that
be
is what
safe
it
than
does.
sorry. Forgiven.
No, it's fine. It's just
Yes, it's just naturally quiet.
Their job.
Okay.
Their
Yes,
job's on the line.
we're admittedly
It's okay. I understand.
we're used to dealing with things that come at us head on and see us and think that we are threatening and scary and try to kill us before we kill them. Okay, good. And yeah, you are allowed. Like they don't see you, but they do hear the forge activate.
Yeah.
But it does react normally. You see there are the two statues against the furnace, and in this one you are looking at campaign up. Yes, you are looking at the Forge of Fortitude and the Forge of Vitality. And in fact, you can see this.
Nothing seems like out of place or trapped or
No.
fishy or.
No, not at all. It seems like the
Uh,
forges have never been trapped
Is
so far.
fortitude HP?
Yeah.
Or-
You feel like Fortitude is more like saves and Vitality is HP.
I will say just as kind of like a character thoughts right now. While she is actually doing the runes, she will consider thinking of a way to make them bound to her.
Okay.
But she will probably, unless she can actually, no, she probably won't act on it. But the thought has crossed her mind.
Give me an Arcana check.
Oh, that's good. 25.
You look at the runes. The runes don't seem, on their own, to have a control element. It's a bit weird. You are understanding that perhaps what they are and what the runes are is some kind of blend of soul magic
Mhm.
and the ability, like a conjuration thing that is reminiscent of the map area, seemingly perhaps letting them be able to traverse the forge more easily.
Like a pass.
Yeah.
Okay.
As you try to understand, you think back and this memory that you have as well of using these divine runes with a blend of arcane. You think it's possible. You're pretty sure you'd need to do it on your own, otherwise if Ostra's in on it with you, Dana. But if you were doing it yourself,
No, she wouldn't say it out loud.
you wouldn't be able to pass this under her nose without her noticing, because it's
If I notice that, she'll notice that,
yeah,
fair enough.
that's but it would still take more time as well. It's not something you can sneak in with a moment, Dana. But
Come on, instead of a full stop.
yeah. Sadly, it's not, because it wasn't a binding spell in its original form, so it's basically you're carving in a new spell.
You are not stealing the people of the room.
Well, this is internally done. But yeah, basically what you understand now, looking at it more, you think that their souls are being kept in those statues. It doesn't seem to be a forceful binding. It doesn't seem to be one of those summon spells, because those are usually the ones that bind the souls. But yeah, it's possible, I guess.
I'll just.
Yeah.
I
Right.
won't do it though.
Yeah.
Don't steal the
If there
fort.
if there is nothing else after an hour, basically you can do this, either this one main one which I will say will be a 4th level spell. Otherwise, you can do up to 3 3rd level ones. But this one, yeah, and Ostres pay, like, you can share payment, but, yeah.
And the big one would be the one that allows them to move.
You're pretty sure the big one is the one that would allow them the most to move. The other ones would be helpful as well. It's just this one.
Either a big one or 2 small ones.
No, you can basically do either 1 big one, 2 lesser ones, or 3 lesser ones if you didn't feel like doing the
One big one and 2 small ones. Fuck
Okay.
it, let's go.
So 4th level and 2 3rd levels is basically what is being requested.
Ostra concentrates, like, caresses the cloak, and with it the motes of magic come
Yeah.
up.
Basically, as you do it, you see the constellations. These, like, it's not really. It does look like constellations, but as you look at them, it's no constellation you can recognize, and it's more so just interlacing and various, like, connections that just some of them fly off and move in the direction where you are leading the magic to go towards. Yeah. Effectively, you would
And then
use...
I'm gonna be like, I'll place my hand on the bigger rune and pump my magic into it.
As Zenkela has finished, like, recarving the rune, basically, you can see there are still the claw marks, but now the rune is written on top of them. So it's like, basically, the lines have been reforged enough. You flow this magic inwards, and you can see the rune glow and some subsidiary lines and other, like, minor runes begin to glow with it, as since it is a central node. Yeah.
So I'm gonna be like, we did what we could. I hope it.
Yeah. So basically, you're spending 6 charges from the cloak
And 1 spell slot.
and 1 spell slot from your own. Okay. The runes light up, all 3 of them now, as you do the same to the other 2. A substantial chunk of the runes light up. There are still many more you can see around the area.
Just for both,
But-
right? For one of them only.
No, it seems like for both it will work.
Yeah.
And you, in fact, see Gunfer and Dunfer.
I want to request some water.
They kind of begin to glow a little bit as they stand and breathe in. Ah. Ooh. That's good. That's good. Thank you. I can already... Oh. Oh. Oh no. Okay. That is not good. We can see other areas of the forge. We had understood that the situation was bad. This is really bad. We have been here a while. It's been a while since we've seen what is going on.
It is not your fault, soldier. You were stuck here.
Well, I mean, we were stuck here because we weren't good enough to defend the spot, but, well, we did what we could.
If you want, you can always be my pet. I
Shush.
will take good care of you.
We will be no one's
You will
pet.
always be enough for me.
We are enough for ourselves.
And you are
So
enough,
that is
and you are
important.
more than enough in my book.
You're first.
You are standing now, and you are ready to take arms and protect what's dear to you.
Well, yes. The
So
only
you
issue
joining
is
us?
with failing.
That is more than
Well,
enough in my book.
joining is a strong word, but we will try and see where we can help.
Thank you.
There is a lot going on around the forge. We can only see a fraction of it, even with the work you've done. But there is movement. There is a presence. I can't see the heart, but there is something there that shouldn't be there.
Oh, we know that. There's something big.
Yes.
So, yeah, we need to go to the other 2 forges. So, if you wanna guard us or escort us till there.
We will see if that is possible. I admit I cannot see the entirety of the rooms yet. We saw you are the key. The Forge Mistress gave you the key. If we are allowed to travel where the key leads you, then we will come with you.
Okay. Shall we enter the forge?
Selen awaits you there. These two just begin to look. Okay.
Len will like as soon as they like begin like walking towards the forge, Len will stop.
Yeah. I think your Passato trace has faded at this point because it has been an hour.
Okay, so yeah,
So,
I'll just be chilling there.
Hello, Selen.
Hello, Selen.
Dunfer and Gunfer looking. Hello,
Len.
Dunfer. Dunfer.
So I've heard.
It was fortitude and vitality, right? You said?
Yes. We will leave you to it, they say, as we will see how far we can perhaps navigate while you do your business.
If allowed for the Forge of Vitality, I know it's insane given my track record of getting very hurt very much,
Okay.
but I would like to donate some of my maximum HP.
Okay.
So non-recoverable, like.
Okay.
I want to nerf myself and I'm
Oh.
terrified,
Yeah.
but I hope it will be
But
worth
there is
it.
something else I want to give for the Forge of Fort. Well, for both of them.
Like I said, you can do. It doesn't have to be 1 and 1. Like
I have nothing for these. I have for the last two only.
So okay.
Yeah.
Mela, I
You
can drop some of my HP.
Mela, you step to the
I
Forge of
slice my
Vitality.
hand and drop blood.
You see basically the statue is holding a cup. It says, "What will you give to the forge?" And as you do, you slice, the blood begins to drip down, and you see this statue like leans forward, moving the cup down, and you start to see it fill with blood.
How
And
much
then-
HP did I lose?
How much do you want to give?
Forgiving.
I'm scared.
So, okay. I'll do this. You can either give me a flat number, or you can give me like a number of D10s. Because, no, D8s, because that's your hit. Like, and you roll the hit die, you roll the die, and that will be the number. Or you can give me a flat number.
I want to roll the die.
How many die are you doing?
1.
Just one? Okay.
Listen, I'm already relatively squishy. I don't.
Let's say one.
Could she technically sacrifice her dice instead of HP?
You could also sacrifice hit die if you
5.
want. Okay. So you give up 5 hit points?
Yeah.
Okay. 5 hit points.
Which I think it's my last level, literally. Why does it look like you're mad at me? I'm scared.
I'm not mad at you.
I feel like I've done something wrong.
No, yeah.
Selene will, after Ostray finishes, will also step up
Mm-hmm.
the Forge of Fortitude.
Yep.
And he will give up his ability to cast protection from good and evil.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. All right. And you wanted to do something else as well?
No, not me.
Yes,
Selene. Yes.
for the Forge of Promise.
Yeah. For Vital. Mhm.
Was thinking of giving up my ability to cast Hunter's Mark.
Okay.
For what
for-
is this?
There's
For the
four.
Promise.
This is Fortitude and Vitality. The Forge of Promise is the whole
Sorry.
thing.
Right.
It's part of it
So
technically.
wait.
I mean, you.
Would it make sense for Ostrace to be the Vitality one?
Ostrich was the Vitality one. Yes.
Okay.
Yours was Fortitude, and then if you're saying this is Hunter's Mark, if you wanted to,
No, because in my head I was thinking, I forgot that they're subdivided. So I think Hunter's Mark. For Fortitude, probably just the
Yeah.
protection from good and evil makes most sense. I don't want to give up Healing Spirit because it has been helpful.
No.
Um,
For Vitality, Zenkela will step forward. And
Okay.
I don't know how I'm going to flavor this, but I will give away 1 hit dice.
Okay. A head die. A
A
permanent
hit die.
head die.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. You can either go at it via. I would say the most that it would make sense thematically is probably you place your hands on the anvil and it begins to leech from your stamina, from your inner, like the ability to recover,
Yeah.
basically. Yeah. This is a 1d6.
you know what? Since everyone's stepping up to give a hit die,
You don't
Helen
have
will
to.
also step up, give up a hit die to the Forge of Vitality.
Right, so you're doing a hit die as well.
Load her up, baby.
Die.
I'll give up the rogue one, so that is a D8.
Okay, nice. Right, because ranger are d10s. So. Right, 1d8, d6, and protection.
Now I feel like an asshole for not giving out a hit die.
You gave up. You gave 5 max HP, which already.
Yeah, basically,
Like
you
max
gave up
HP
the
is like-
average of a d8 in your permanent
I
hit
would
points.
say max HP is probably more potent than us giving up the hit dice.
Yeah.
Yeah, you think the scales are a little bit of that.
Alrighty.
If,
I
if
don't think
there,
there's anything else.
Alright.
Is there anything else in this forge? Any other rooms?
no, it is only the singular room. It seems like even doorways. There are no other doorways. It is the same portal doorway that you came in through is where you're probably going to head out from. But yeah, no, it is quiet. It is just seems like these two denizens of the forge were here and they were keeping it safe as much as they could. In fact, like you've been doing this process, you hear their footsteps having left and you heard a bit of like quiet focusing on the forge and then they come back. Oh, it is bad out there. It is very bad out
Yep.
there. Okay.
Yeah, we got a taste of it.
Yeah. So you guys are done from this forge?
We can move forward.
Alright, then you begin to head out. The forge becomes a little bit dormant as you walk out, and they just look. So, yes, It is saddening what has happened to the forge, and time moves strangely. So I'm not sure how much time you've spent here, but had a couple of scrapes out there. It does not look good. There are some still, perhaps other small pockets of the forge where denizens are safe. Clearly, the map makers and the map guardians are active. Otherwise, the forge would not be able to work as it does. Though it does feel like they are under threat. The paths are being
Who are the map
disrupted.
makers?
They are a bit of gangly group. Not very talkative, but
Do they turn weird?
yes, they have the.
We were forced to fight some of them.
Oh.
The
But
map.
so they were taken over as well. But you fought them. I take it then they are, yes.
Some of them snapped out of it. Some others we ended up putting down.
But
They
came back.
they have the ability to recover, yes. No. If perhaps they are still being taunted by whatever is trying to keep balance here, so they might be having some issues. But they are keeping the wheel turning, and that is good. Which means that perhaps there are others like us who are still within the forge and are working towards bettering it. But
Well, we have the last 2 forges left. So
yes, I can. If you have gotten here, then you will have only 2 remaining, and then you will travel to the heart of the forge. So we are getting a bit. We are before you leave. We are trying to piece together what is going on. The forge, the heart of the forge, is protected by a champion of Ankam. The champion is still there. We are very certain the champion is still there. The forge exists.
Like us?
Perhaps once. Perhaps once. I am not sure of their story. It is for the safety and the protection of the forge. It is kept from us denizens to know the story. But we know the champion is there. We know that the heart of the forge is the heart of the champion. They are a formidable foe should you be placed against them. And I fear that you might have to deal with that as you move towards them. Try to reach out, though. Whatever is here finds something at your core to gnaw at, something to tempt you, to pacify you, and turn you into some kind of puppet.
Curious. Did you? I noticed the claw marks. Did you see what came through here?
Yes. It was a strange creature. We had to fight it.
Did you win?
No. Well, we won enough so that it could not enter the forge. Though I find it hard to believe that it would have succeeded. We forced it to leave, but not before it had damaged the runes in this room, making us effectively unable to chase after it. So, as much as it was a victory for us against it, it was a loss for the greater battle of the forge.
Fair enough. And what was this? Or can you give us any information? What
It is strange. It is weak. It is weak in its psyche. It is not something we could deal directly. It's not something we specialize in. It is a creature in itself, a construct, much like us, but it molds itself to whatever it fights. Perhaps it was a construct because we were fighting it. But it is in some way, it is not a living creature. It is not natural. I would go as far as calling it an aberration. Some aberrant creature crafted by Casal and the Arbiter, this leech. But I fear it has reached the heart, and I fear it is what is corrupting the forge itself. If it has, it means the champion has been corrupted. I am not sure what that would mean. The champion is a warrior. I know that they were once horse rider is not the right word. A mounted warrior. They were very good at heart, very noble, but perhaps very wounded. Their past seemed always, the way they spoke was always with a bit of nostalgia for a better time, and I fear that is what the corruption might have found. Unfortunately, warriors such as you, champions and whatnot, you are stronger than what we can ever be. We are made to a mold, and we cannot go beyond our potential. You are limitless. You go as far as you're willing to push yourselves. And while that is a great strength for this entity, it seems to be a weakness, at least to some extent. So be wary. Hold to each other's strengths and don't let yourselves be deterred from action.
We won't.
And we will try to navigate with you as far as we can go. There are many corrupted souls in the Forge. We will try and keep them at bay, should we not be able to move towards your destination. And as they say that, Ostre, you begin to feel the runes begin to vibrate once more, much more violently than ever before, as these last two shoot up, and they begin to spin on themselves for a long while as they begin to circle. And you hear again this voice from before. You're getting closer. Oh, so very closer. You might not have given us your key, but we will take what we can.
Bitch.
I await you, Ostre, Zenkila, Silen, champions of the sleeping gods. And there's almost like a bit of almost like a shattering sound that feels like prevalent, coming from everywhere almost, but it is faint, but it just... And the runes shoot out from behind you as like they move back through the doorway that you walked through. Yeah, and you begin.
Wait, they went back.
There was only one room. There was only one doorway. So basically they went back from where you came in from. Because it was the only way out, basically.
And this is Ostre turning and
Yeah, you all turn and begin to move. And you hear the
Commander.
Stomper and Gumper begin moving behind you as well. And they begin to move. And you all begin to move behind along the rooms. Yeah, you begin moving. So, let's say, let's do this. You begin moving across the corridors. The claw marks growing more and more prevalent, and eventually you see a small, like, similar to what you saw before, these like creatures, possibly once like humanoids, warriors wearing masks, and harpies on the wall, like as you walk through one of the corridors. I'm going to say, because you can reasonably like deal with these, Dana. I need all of you to effectively give me an attack roll, a save, your highest save, I'll say, whatever your highest save is, and a straight d20 roll.
Mala, the attack, you mean?
An attack roll, like weapon attack roll, spell attack roll, best attack.
Sorry,
That's
my
cool.
headphone literally was falling apart. What
Oh.
did you say?
So, so you were finished from the forge. Dunfer and Gumfer gave you the Dana. The runes began moving. There was a moment where the voice of the presence of this corrupting presence talked to you and was just beckoning you to come since you are so done. You began traveling through the corridors and you hit a squadron of enemies effectively.
Fun.
And right now I need you so that we don't because the combat is something you guys can reasonably do, but I just want to see, you give me an attack roll, spell attack, weapon attack, or just one. One save, and your highest save, so if it's intelligence save, for Zenkill is the highest, Dana, and one straight d20 roll from the three of you.
Mela, for attack, I rolled a 12 total.
12 total? Okay.
No, 13 total, pardon me.
Did you roll?
4. For the check, for the d20 straight roll, I rolled an 20.
Okay. Oh, for the straight roll. Okay.
And for the save, I rolled a 14 plus 8 because it's Riz. So it's
22.
now that I said Riz, I must jump out of the window because
Yeah. Love. Okay.
I am doing weird shit today. Yeah.
Okay.
So, you wanted the attack roll,
Attack
a saving
roll?
throw, and a straight roll.
Yep.
Can I do this with advantage, since I would usually use advantage with the snake?
So I'll allow on one of them you would be able to have it one.
okay.
So just pick the one you want.
Okay.
You're not sure whether there's any difference.
Yep. So, combat is 21. Save. So this is my highest save.
Yeah.
Adding anything.
So add whatever is your highest save bonus.
23 for the
Okay.
save. And straight roll is straight roll using any skill.
No, just flat. Whatever
Oh.
you get on the d20.
3.
Okay.
Lol.
Select.
Mine are the attack is a natural 20,
Nice. Okay.
and the save is a dirty 20,
Okay.
and the straight roll is an
That's
8.
not. All right. Lovely.
Love how the one time Celed crits, he doesn't get to pump in a bunch of stuff.
I'm sorry. If you want to,
No, you're not.
If you want to go nuts, you can roll how much damage that would have been. Well, I need to see what's their highest save.
Celed knows. Nathan doesn't know. Okay.
It's... Alright. So, basically, you're confronted by these enemies. And you immediately see Gunfer and Dunfer move forward and just begin take out these weapons, these massive great swords, effectively, and just charge forward, yelling out. These creatures silently move forward and begin to swarm them and attack, and you guys engage in combat. The harpies, these creatures, these feathered, feminine-looking entities, swoop from above them and come at you guys specifically, and you engage them in battle. With your saves and your Azat. So with all of your saves, you are only going to take, effectively, as you kind of you wanna 17 divided by. So you take 8 points of damage. The three of you take 8 points of damage total, as just from off attacks. You guys kind of find ways to heal each other and do it as you will effectively, but you only over that take 8 points of damage, as mostly Dunfer and Gunfer take the heavy blows. With a 13, 20, and a 20, 13, 21, not 20. As you are reasonably able to, 19, as you manage to defeat them quick enough as you manage to take out these enemies. The runes are moving. You follow them, and Gumper and Dumper kind of fall behind, holding whatever like creatures are try to move towards you guys. Basically, they just hold them in place and swipe at them and kill them as need be. And as as kind of that combat finishes, you hear this voice again. Closer. Oh, ever so closer. Soon you will feel peace. And there is
Bro, the rage.
You, Ostre, feel something vaguely familiar. The same feeling you had back in the city of dreamers, where you were held, paralyzed, and kind of overwhelmed by this entity that presented itself to you in your room. There was a fear there, a fear that almost didn't even feel like your own, but it felt like fear of so many people all at once, like building up inside you. And you feel a sliver of that for just a moment, and then you just see in your mind's eye that purple green face of the Great Lattice just like shout and just call you back, and you ignore it fully with that nat 20 on the flat down.
Thank you,
Zerkila
Darwin.
and Selene, you feel this fear build and build inside you. The creatures have been defeated. You're running, like catching up to the runes, moving. You call your skeletons, Zenkila, forward in order to reach you and provide you the safety that they usually feel, like the feeling of being but it builds, and something lingers, but you continue to move. You follow past Dumper, and Dumper look quite bruised, but they seem very hardy, and they follow behind, trudging up like through the portal they saw you and go through, and you come into a new corridor. As you do, it comes up into a T intersection, this new space, and Dumper and Dumper turn to follow you, and then immediately feel a kind of like a rebound, like as if they hit an invisible barrier, and they're just like, this is as far as we can go. But the forge, this creature, it is pulling them towards you. We will try to hold them off as much as we can. And they turn, and you see from the other side, you hear this shrill, like, yell, as more creatures begin to come out of the portal on the other side. And you see them pull out their great swords, stand firm. Good luck, champions! And they move forward as they engage with more.
Before they hit the enemy, I'm going to scream. Remember, there is no shame in retreating.
Never. And they just fully swing and go full on. And you guys continue to follow through the rooms.
My philosophy of like retreating is still an action. I'm not betraying Ankam. Fuck you. Retreating requires more action than just blindly run into your death.
These guys are objectively built different.
Objectively built different.
That's okay, and that's fine. It's just...
But the sentiment is appreciated on a fundamental level. You begin to move, and you all begin to feel this, like, not physically, but almost like you feel as if the space has been fully alerted now. You can't hear an alarm, but you can feel the forge is tense. You can feel the air almost get like it's getting harder to breathe, and it's not just because you're running. You hear moments where the sound of the portals that you walk through make some noise as something comes through and is chasing after you, but you shift to a new portal and basically avoid them as they are trying to chase after you but don't have the navigation that you do. Eventually, you get into this last forge area. The runes apparate, they shoot in towards the wall, and you basically see in front of you, it basically feels, well, it looks like a kind of a library of sorts. Like you've walked in and the space is desks, shelves, books on tables, and you can see quite a number of dead bodies. Some that are like clearly were potentially like hiding under one of the desks. You see some that were more warriors and they seem to have been like standing in a circle and were potentially like fighting something and they died in that position. You see no masked creatures, you see no colored creatures. These are all various species of humanoids, tieflings, orcs, humans, elves, various types. No Eladrin, something to note, and no Harengon, something to note, I guess, for the two odd races of the party. But elves,
So
like,
95% of the party.
yeah. Like, and also, I guess, for Zenkiel's perspective, I mean, there are humans, but I don't know how much you empathize with.
Oh no, I'm not.
Yeah. So I'm like, yeah.
It's like I was putting out her spell book right now.
Yeah. But yeah, you arrive in the space. And ahead there is the forge door. But yeah, and in this moment, it seems quiet, perhaps even safe. But there is this like still a bit of heaviness, Zenkela and Selen, that the two of you just feel just kind of as if like your breath is like catching a little bit, and it's as if like your heart is racing ever so often, and then you just take a deep breath, it calms, but then after like a minute or so it builds up again, and it's just like it's always coming back. The space is yours in this moment.
There isn't anything else other than the dead bodies.
Dead bodies,
Like
bookshelves, no creatures so far. No movement. It seems like potentially either Dunfer and Gunfer are providing some cover. Perhaps this area is safer. Unsure. But it seems like for now it is quiet. Yeah.
I would like to pick. I would like to look at the bodies in the room.
Okay.
I want
Yeah.
to find the two bigger, heftier looking warrior types.
Okay.
There are
Yeah.
two. And I would like to do we should watch the anime dead.
Okay. You may indeed do so. You find two bodies. You find this like circle of warriors. You pick out two that seem a bit hardier. And yeah,
Do they have any armor?
they seem effectively. So I'm gonna say like the two you find, they are armored as well as yours, so they have like +1 weapons. So like they are done. I would say, Give me an Arcana check.
Sure thing.
We'll do this.
And that is a 21.
21. So I'm gonna say, if you want to. So I'm not sure if you would plan to go with these as skeletons or zombies. I don't know if you...
Skeleton.
Okay. So if you want to, I'm gonna say, you can forge them in a way that instead of the normal skeleton stat block as they are usually, you can have them be stronger, and they can keep essentially what they are wearing, which is full plate armor.
Ooh.
But then they wouldn't have the dexterity. So effectively what we'd be doing is their dex becomes 10, their strength becomes 18.
Yeah, I'll do that.
So they won't be as good with wielding a bow, but
Yeah.
they will be much better with weapons. And if you want to, they could find like a sword and board. So effectively their ACs would be effectively 20.
Solid shit. Very good. Okay, thank you.
So yeah, basically you find like they're sturdier, and so there is also an element as you do this, you cast the spell and you awaken these two skeletons. The whatever is left of the flesh mostly fades, but some of it seems to more like almost get absorbed by the skeleton. And as they stand and upright, Zenkilla, we will serve again. Thank you, Zenkilla.
Sir, again?
And they seem like then they become skeletons, Dana. But perhaps some element of their soul, of the soul that they once had, they seem grateful for having been reanimated.
Oh.
Yeah. They are soldiers. You seem like you found some class of warriors here that were of the forge. It's like,
Fun.
yeah. So, yes. If you'd like, everyone can give me an investigation or perception check to like go through the room, this library.
May I use help action from my snake?
Yes.
29.
Nice. Lovely. Okay.
Yes, it had to even itself out. Investigation, 7 total.
Okay.
I rolled a 3.
Just let you know, I'm using knowledge from the
Yeah, go ahead.
for past life. I think it was
Lovely.
fine. So
Sorry,
27.
say 27.
27
Okay,
as well.
so both of you took this out. Okay, nice. But one perception, the other investigation. Perfect.
Yep.
Oh, really good.
Thank you for evening out my shitty.
So, what you guys find? So, you begin to go through this room. Since Zenkela, you were first looking at the bodies, starting with like casting the animate, and then like
Yeah.
you take stock of armor and stuff. You go through a bit of the other bodies as well. Kind of like checking, seeing if there's anything, and you do actually notice some couple of things that seem to be around. So, what you do find, you do find, or I'll do this for ease because I feel like I forget if any of you guys actually use armor or if maybe one of you are undead. It'd be better served using this. You effectively find a +1 armor. If it's helpful to anyone specific, you can pick the armor type you want, but effectively you find one +1 armor. That you do also find.
So it would be scale mail +1.
If you want it. Like, it depends. It depends who's going to wear it, if there's one of you more so than the other.
I don't need it, so if anyone wants it,
Yeah.
feel free to say me.
Tipo, you can pick whatever, even if it's like, if you'd better benefit from like a different type of armor, It doesn't have to be the armor you're currently wearing. It's like whatever armor best suits you. It's going to be up to full plate +1 if you really wanted to. But I forgot what you guys use. It like
I have scale mail.
Okay. So you can wear medium armor. I don't know if there's a better medium armor for you. And then I don't know if the... No. I need to find the other things. Where are the other things?
What about you, Sagan?
Yeah, I'm at leather armor. I am 11 plus my dex mod. Which is as good as I'll get. Unless it's a...
Isn't
This
that
is a...
breastplate, I believe?
Yes, but breastplate doesn't allow you to add your full dex mod.
Yeah.
The only +2. And my dex is +5.
Fair. And for us three?
So unless it's like a +1 leather, then my AC goes up to 18.
No, it basically would be that. Like, it's a +1 armor, so it's any armor, but it's +1. So for Selene, you could even get studded leather. People, you'd get a +1 studded leather. So then it would.
Yeah.
It depends. It depends between you guys. It's just to make it easier, because if I forget who uses what exactly, so I don't want to gate it. No. Is there no?
What's everyone's AC at?
17.
18.
Do you want to do like rollies or rock, paper, scissors?
I don't need it, so you guys.
No, because like me and Dostray are both at 17, so it's like.
You can have it, it's fine.
You sure?
Yeah.
Can do it. Like if you want, we can like roll for it. Like I don't mind.
Let's also consider who gets the most hit. It's the other factor.
Yeah, because like I usually don't get hit that much. You're more like front lines.
That's true, but I don't want to steal it.
No, but I think it's smarter for the party if us three has it.
Mela, then I'll grab it.
You
Take much
do.
convincing.
You do additionally find a circlet of blasting. So basically, it is
blasting.
yeah. I started blasting. Basically, it is a action get to cast Scorching Ray as a spell. It has only once per day. It is not attunement. It does typically say attack bonus of +5. I'm gonna have that just be whatever your spell attack is, because I find that to be dumb.
Where are my items?
So
What
you
a-
find the circlet of blasting.
5 tools, thank you.
That's just something.
I feel like you wouldn't use this, no, Selene, because if you're gonna shoot anything from far away, it will be your bow, right?
Yeah.
I mean, me personally, I just use Witch Bolt really, so I don't really need it per se. So
I have unlimited arrows as long as I have my quiver with me. So
that's true. I think it might be good for you because you have limited spell points, or spell slots.
yeah.
For context, Scorching Ray is 3 rays of fire that you get to attack roll for each of them. And no.
Yeah, no, I remember that. I was desperately trying to look in 5 tools for armors.
Okay. You should look for medium armor, maybe if you look.
Yes, if I manage to find it.
Melee. It's 14 is the base.
So, what you find as well.
Do I find
Across-
a book with all the chromatic spells?
So, not all necromantic spells, but you do find scattered across various tomes some spells. Effectively, it's not a spell book, like none of them are a spell book of their own, but some of them have spells in them that you can.
Out the paper.
Yeah, you can pull out exactly.
I'm not managing to understand what 5 tool is doing, because it's like,
What do you
So,
looking for? The
armor.
best medium is 14. Scale mail or
So-
breastplate?
Half plate is the best medium, but it gives you disadvantage on step.
Yeah.
no, I'd rather not.
So breastplate or scale, actually scale mail was giving you disadvantage on step. But if you get breastplate, you'd be fine. So it would
So
be
it would be breastplate +1.
yes, which
Breastplate.
gives you a base 15 +2. Plus, if you have +2 dex, maximum +2 dex. I don't know how much dex Ostre has.
2.
Oh, nice. So you get as much as you can get. So nice.
So I ran the update.
Yeah, probably. Did-
Any idea? Can I have like a quick look what spells there are? Just
Mala, yes,
have
I am
an
going to tell you. So, you would find
18 AC, yay!
Nice.
80.
finger of death.
Fair, that's no. So, you do find some that you might have already found. Basically, no. These are for sure there.
Power kill.
I mean, if you're sure that I can,
Sleeping gods.
if you're sure that I can have the circlet, then I wouldn't mind having extra.
Yeah, go ahead.
Wish.
Go ahead.
So, these for
Summon
sure.
God.
I thought that in the magic items.
Mhm.
Then, what you would also find.
Nothing cool so far.
No. You'd find this.
But these are scrolls, right?
They're basically they're not even scrolls. Like they're not magical scrolls. They are spells
They're
written
like
down.
magical notes, basically.
Yeah.
magical notes.
Yeah. So you would find these.
I can, if I take a feat for it, make scrolls, to be fair.
Hmm. I didn't think there was a. No, these are level 3. And you would get. Now these for sure as well. Hmm.
Oh, nice.
Get these. No. And let's see. How much would it be in this? Yes, you know what? Yes, there would be in this. So, because you said you rolled a 27. I will give you this. You will unlock them.
Yay.
No, I need to find them. I think. Oh, it's not in my drive because this isn't done. I need this drive. This one is this drive. Take it out of the old drive. No, actually, could be in mechanics. Spell crafting. Wait, yes? No. That was bad. I had that for myself. In here. Hidden art. There we go. We found it. Yeah. So you find these spells as mainly. Then you find this particular spell associated. You'd find this one. This is a custom spell. Actually, it might exist in a homebrew because I think at this point they might have made it an actual. It might be an official one. This is something I had from my old homebrew stuff. So there is this. It is basically like an anti-turn undead spell. It's like counter spell, but for the turn undead and destroy undead thing. Yeah. So you find this spell. So the others you find them in a mix of like a lot more classic forging. Like you find one that's like it's talking about these like heroes of old, these like great paladins who have allowed their magic to be fueled into weapons, and they explain like so basically like you get those spells, which a lot of them are like the smite spells and stuff like that. And some like talk of like this technically uncalm in some aspects is associated with the forge domain conceptually as like the promise to craft, the promise to build and to make and to give items from one to the other. So there are the forge domain spells that while these spells are potentially not all of them are wizard spells, the way you find them here is you could make them wizard spells basically. So you'd be able to learn them to have as wizard spells.
Cool.
Then you find this particular book, and it's talking about this art called necroforging, and the word sparks something in Zenkilla's mind, but the memories are a little bit lost. Might be something you might have once known, but it talks about it. It's hard to read a lot of the text just because a lot of it is like worn down and lost and torn. You find this spell, and you find some beginnings of some other more potent spells, but they have been lost. They are not fully here. But basically, you begin to discover hints of this lost art of necroforging.
Cool.
Is it? Are we going Castlevania?
Yeah, kind of. These existed before. I had a couple of very specific. Remember, Adam, you would remember him from the campaign we did at the game shop.
Yeah.
I forget his name, the player, but you had a necromancer with you.
Yeah.
I had crafted these for him back then, and then I had added to them for my own necromancers and my own.
That's
Yeah, you begin to discover some hints of some art that potentially you could look into and maybe find other pieces that would help. Yeah, you find that. Selen, you are more like looking around and trying to see if there's anything. Initially, like traps and Dana always like register on your mind, making sure that there isn't anything that's going to jump out at you. But it seems all clear right now. You do kind of spot the circlet, like just a fraction of a second before Zenkila is like pulls it up and is like, oh, you saw it glinting against some little light, and you're like, oh, there's something in Zenkila. It's like, oh, look, it's a circle of velocity. It's like, oh, okay, nice, I saw that. But then you kind of like walk past a couple of people, and you see two corpses are huddled against each other, and you notice a slight glow that comes off of a pair of rings, one worn by one and one worn by the other, that they seem to be wearing, and they register to you as magical. Like you notice it, it's like, oh, like some runes like glowed as you walked past them. Yeah, you can, if you wish, can take a look.
I'll take a look.
Yeah, you slowly like look, and most of these corpses are mostly skeleton, but there is still some like they haven't fully gone skeleton. Like there are still bits of flesh and done. It's like it almost feels like they've died more recently, but you're fairly certain that they have been dead for a while.
Yeah.
But you look at these rings, and basically I will add them into the public domain, but they are essentially, for ease, rings of warding bond.
Like the ones in Baldur's Gate.
Yeah, like the ones in Baldur's Gate, exactly. Basically, you notice that they can be worn by one individual and the other, and should they wish, they may activate a warding bond effect, and they can suppress it whenever they want. So it has no time limit per se. It can be like constantly active, but basically those two people would have warding bond cast on them. It would give you a +1 to your AC and saving throws, and then any damage done to one will be shared and like halved between both. For making it, just to make it a bit nicer, because D&D doesn't have this clause and Pathfinder does this clause for stuff like this, when the two people are going to be affected by the same spell, like if they're in an AoE, rather than both of them taking double damage, basically. It's just whoever would take the most damage, both of them take that same damage, kind of.
Wait, what?
So the vibe is like, I should imagine. So both of the people are caught in the same fireball. So technically what would happen then is like, fireball does 30 damage. So this person took 30 damage, so halves it to 15, gives the 15 to the other person. And then the other person also took 30 damage, halves it to 15, does that. So it's like, halved it, but also I took it twice. So, still done. So instead, what it will do is, whoever saves the worst, it will take that as the final effect. So it's like, one succeeded, but the other failed. So you take the fail, they each would take 30 damage, as in the damage total was 30, halved 15 between them.
Okay.
If both of them succeeded, it would have been halved to a 15, and then halved again, they each take 7. Kind of, just to make the word, like, because otherwise the wording both would be worse the second you hit something that's an AoE, which I always found to be dumb. And apparently Pathfinder do this a lot for effects that are like this, of like, if both people are targeted by the effect, then the lower save is taken and applied to both parties. So I'm doing it that way.
Isn't though, or am I confusing it with something else? Isn't warding bond like your damage is halved and taken by? So they take full damage.
Yeah.
If it's an AoE.
Okay. That's why.
Okay.
It's like this way, at least you still take half damage. Yeah, that's like you're taking it half, and then you're taking it twice. So basically, you're not benefiting at all. Or worse, if you succeed and the other person failed, then you're taking half and then full, kind of.
Yeah.
Allora, but yeah, it's up to you guys how you want, if you want to use them. They are not attunement. They are just worn, and basically you can, as long as both parties are willing, you can activate the effect of the warding bond and suppress it accordingly. I would reasonably say it would take an action to activate and suppress. So if you're doing it mid-fight and you're like, you have it active, but then you want to turn it off mid-fight, because maybe it's like, right now I can't afford to take extra damage.
It's doable.
You can do it mid-fight.
I don't know. Like I would talk with Zinkla if, because typically I don't get hit all that often since I'm typically further back. I don't know if you want to give it to like maybe one of your hardier or frontliner skeletons, whereas I think you would benefit the most from it. I think
it is also a +1 bonus to AC and saving throws. All saving throws.
Can me and Ostia take it, maybe? Is this attunement you said?
but
It's
you
not.
two seem to
It's
be
not.
more frontline, so
Yeah,
I don't know if it's
Yes,
Find myself
me and
frontline.
Ostia.
Ostia.
Madonna.
because like my reasoning is, since I don't typically get hit,
Oh, fair.
I can take the damage that, and I think you have less HP overall than us, right?
So you're saying that me and you have it, you're saying?
Or alternatively, I don't know if it would make, because I think it would make more sense for us, like the active party members, to have it.
Yeah,
But
no, yes, I agree.
my thought was that like, if you have a tough skeleton,
I mean,
that
they only
is
have
taking
20
like,
HP each of them, so like it's not really.
okay, so yeah, no.
But yeah, I think taking it us two is pretty good.
Yeah.
Just to
Unless
confirm, we
there's
have
any
4
other-
attunement spots, right?
Yes.
But
So
this
it-
isn't attunement.
No, it's not.
It's not attunement. Oh, okay.
You just slip it on, and then as long as both parties are willing, you use that action, and the wording bond takes effect. And basically, you can also switch it in the sense of who is the one receiving the damage and who is the one who's taking half damage, basically.
But now we're extra
I'll
linked.
say that.
Like I can also heal you with the
Yeah.
bracelet here.
Yeah. So I would say I'll take your damage.
We can
That
decide on
would
the
be
spot, though.
the
Or no, what's decide now?
You basically it would use an action in the moment. If you needed to switch,
yeah.
you'd
Okay.
use an action.
We can keep it
Yeah.
like that for now.
So I
And
think
then
it would be it would be safer
we both get the
if
plus
for
one.
whatever reason I'm like drawn into
Yeah.
something.
So you and
Zenkela switches.
So Zenkela and Silen are wearing
Okay.
it.
And
So
we get plus
so-
one each to each.
so as that. So basically, where the target is. Okay, so not both of you. Well, no, I'm going to say because it's a magic item, both of you will gain the +1 bonus to AC and saves. But then, basically, Zenkila is the one who has resistance to all damage. And then, when Zenkila takes damage, the amount of damage you take will be taken by Silen as well. But you are already halving everything
Yeah.
because of the resistance.
Is it an actual item by any chance or no?
It's not. I don't think it's an official item. I will add it to the list in the magic items, but it is a ring of warding bond. I will add.
Wording.
Bond. Idea of text.
Oh, even I benefit from the +1 to
Yes,
saving
plus
throws.
one. You both will. Yes. So I will.
My dex saving throw just went to +10.
Nice.
good for you.
To be fair, same. The intelligence saving throw.
Nice.
My AC is 90.
Mela, side note, the what was it called? Circlet of Blasting?
Circlet of blasting. Yes. It is also not attunement. It is just.
Then I started blasting.
It is just a once per day
it?
scorching ray, basically.
Is it also known as Danny DeVito's bracelet?
You flip it over, you see some ancient writing in a language that is like done, and yet in your mind's eye, it forms the words Danny DeVito's.
Then I started blasting.
And as you hold it in your weapon, you just hear this voice, this like crackly voice, and I started blasting.
Blasting.
You are forced to say the words. Then I started blasting.
Whenever you use it, that's the curse of.
Just calm down in the video for a second there. It's like, okay.
your size changes to small for like 1 second. You're like, go bald.
God, no,
You just
no,
heard-
I don't want to wear it anymore.
No, that I will. Someday there will be a curse item that will be like that. But this is a regular segment.
Yo, a bold herring gun is some nightmare fuel. Not gonna lie.
Oh yeah,
You're just
like
pure naked.
Yeah, it reminds you of like a long lost uncle. Down.
Bro, my memories are fragmented. I can't think of
And
the
yet,
counter.
and yet somehow this memory is pulled from the ether. Right. Okay. Yeah, that is what you find. Otherwise, what you would also just generally find are other texts and tomes, some that are a little bit more readable than others. You understand this to be like a main source of research for the Forge. It seems like there are various tomes that describe ways of forging different items, whether it's armor, jewelry, and oh, that's the other thing you do find. Sorry, you rolled a 27, so we get to roll the big numbers. Your 1. Where's another one? 2. Nice, I didn't roll absolutely shit. You find 13 electrum pieces, which are the snazzy currency. Which you might be able to use should you ever return to the City of Dreaming, or perhaps other areas that might accept currency in the Dreaming world.
These are not the god coins though. These are the
No, these are the gold coins. Electrum, when I refer to Electrum, these are those similar same coins as before.
God damn. Okay.
You find like some like on the bodies, you find like a little pouch that seems to have like 4 of them, and then you find another couple here and there. And it seems like you found what seems to be the remains of perhaps high-ranking forge masters and mistresses of the Forge of Promise. They had some good coin. But yeah, that is what you find. And otherwise, the Forge of Blessing and the Forge of Sacrifice awaits. As the door swings open and the forge begins to glow with a soft blue light as the flames take up on the inside.
And these are
Forge of Blessing, Forge of Sacrifice. These were the ones you couldn't quite like gauge to a specific thing. It seems like this is more of a personal thing, which it means it can be anything, but also perhaps it is expecting something specific. But
I have an idea of what to give, and I will go up to the Forge of Blessing.
Okay, so you've moved into the room. Okay, sorry.
Yes.
Yeah. The statues in this room, I would say, different from the others. The statues in the other rooms were very like stock image males or females and in between. The 2 statues in here are statues of Anka, represented in the way that you saw her when you've interacted with her before. One seems to be kind of like arms open, hand palms out, and is just awaiting, and it seems to be the Forge of Blessing. And the Forge of Sacrifice seems she is wielding a weapon, and it seems to be wedged into her chest. Yeah, and you step forward to the Forge of Blessing, and in Ankam's voice, you hear, "What will you give to the Forge?"
Zakila will go on her knees, and
Okay.
she'll put her hands in where the hands of the blessing are, and she will say, "Remind me, my god is Haik, right?"
Yeah.
I should say, "I'm sorry, Haik. I'm sorry, Haik. This is for the greater good," and I will give 3 piety points.
Ooh. Okay.
Damn.
Okay. You say this. You see on both your hands as you hold. You see the symbol of Haik as it just begins to appear on the back of your hand. It flows up and it moves away and into the forge, and you see its symbol in the furnace. And you hear, "Do not worry, child. It is good. I'm glad." You hear Hayek's voice inside your mind. The rest don't hear it. Yeah, she does not seem to be insulted.
Sacrifice is, remind me.
You're not sure. It could be anything really. It just the vibe you inferred was that it should be personal, probably.
Then I go to the Dana, to the sacrifice one.
Okay.
And following Zenkila's example, I donate all 5 of my piety points.
Okay.
Ankam, lend me your strength.
And you see Ankam symbol, much like in Zenkila's case. And you hear Ankam's voice as you step forward to the Forge of Sacrifice. What will you give to the Forge? And then you just hear in that same voice, there. Yeah.
I always feel like I'm offending everyone by.
There does not, the emotion does not feel of offense. Or
Thank you.
No. Just
So then, do you know what you're gonna give?
if you want.
If you want.
I have an idea.
I also have
I don't
something.
know if I want to give it, but stuff needs to be
Think about it.
divided.
Zenkela will then. I hope this doesn't fuck up like whatever future thing you have for Zenkela, but she'll walk up to the
Mhm.
sacrifice
Mhm.
and she will give away the memory of her brother.
Okay.
Which one?
Not like
Not the whole memory, just
not as that. It's like if I have a memory and I see him,
as
I
that.
don't know that he's my
He's
brother.
yeah, just
Yeah.
in that memory, the person is clouded, and
Or
the
the-
person is in
Why
both
would
of the
you do
memories
that?
you have. Lovely. That is indeed a sacrifice.
Why would you do
Because-
that?
because we need everything we can get to fight against whatever is gonna come next.
Okay.
And my brother is always here with me, even if I don't remember him. Wait, who's this guy?
Indeed, as you sacrifice his memory, you see the memories that you have already, Zenkela. You see first of this judgment. You remember the judges. You remember the soldiers wrapping you in ropes, leading you through the graveyard, and this person talking. You can barely hear them, but someone yells at him, says to be quiet. You're not sure why. And then again, the memory of creating this ritual. And then some random person knocking at the door, banging at the door. Then they step through, but you can't see their face. It's unclear, it's muddied, not sure of anything. And they're there. You have no idea why.
I swear to God, if you do not give them back the knowledge after this, I will cry.
That was worth it. Oh, that was worth it.
You don't want to make me cry, right?
Helen
Would you give it to the force?
Yeah.
very reluctantly
Mm-hmm.
walks towards the Forge of Blessing
Mm-hmm.
Don't do it.
and like very like
Don't do it.
and he holds onto like whatever like can be like
Mhm. Yeah.
the forge, and he will basically attempt to bamf out his blessing of the Raven Queen.
Okay.
Basically
Okay.
giving up his innate ability
Yeah.
to
Yeah.
teleport.
Yeah.
Whoa. That's crazy.
Okay.
I was
Okay.
almost sure you were gonna give away your memory of your daughter. I was really scared. But it would make future
As-
conversations really awkward with her.
But as much as it's a nice memory, like if Zenkela like inquires about it,
No, I wouldn't. But
on the meta, Selene isn't like this person currently. It's like it's sweet. I have a daughter, but there is no anchor. There is no emotional anchor
Yeah, not
to
yet.
this person.
You don't know them yet. No, this
Yeah.
is much more. Yeah, no, on the meta level, I will agree that this is much more symbolic. And indeed, you step forward, you put your hands on the forge, and this sudden burst of black raven feathers just kind of push out from you, and you see in the furnace there is a face within the furnace, a face that none of you recognize now. There are this circlet of raven feathers that walked around like a halo. These two divine symbols, one of Halik, one of Ankh, just hovering on each side of this face. You see these the face is translucent somewhat, but the eyes glow with a radiant yellow light. And yeah, you have given much to the Forge of Blessing and the Forge of Sacrifice. And you feel the furnace begins to consume them slowly as you begin to walk. Yeah, you are, unless there's anything else, I believe.
It's so now there's the heart, right? Is that the
So,
door?
yes, so right now you walk out of the forge, and there is a moment where you are just processing what you've given, and before you gave up things that are important, yes, very important elements of your being and your characters. But this felt more. The others are things that perhaps you did not... You still would like to have back, but things you were willing to part with for a greater good. There was hesitance and there was a lot of reluctance and concern, and you're worried, what if we've given up something that we will never be able to quite recover? And you ponder that for a moment. And then, as you all are walking out of the forge and focusing on this, Zenkel and Silen, you feel that weight inside build again. But it, you go to breathe, to try to calm it down, and it does, and it keeps building and building and building. And then you all kind of look up and you see a figure, a humanoid figure wearing a white robe, turns towards you, and you see a porcelain mask. So, to the heart then, yes. I await you there. I do so hope you will choose peace. I so hate violence. It is unbecoming of my master's domain. See you soon. And the figure just fades like the wind, as if it was never there.
As soon as the figure fades, I fire an arrow where the figure was.
And you shoot. And it does not. It clearly strikes in that pinnacle point where the creature was, but it's not there anymore. Ostre, you are certain this is exactly the same creature that you saw when you were in the City of Dreamers.
This fucking bitch.
Yeah. You have not seen one like this. No, for Zenkila you wouldn't have seen. The mask is recognizable, but this white robes, they seemed very... The ones you've seen here are creatures corrupted by this force. This creature seemed of the Force. Not something that is corrupted, but something in its truest form. Yeah. And as that moment stops, you see ahead of you, where you walked in from, it is no longer a dark archway, but there is a corridor. And you see a red glow, something bright red, like glowing in the distance. Right now, not very perceivable, but like not, you can just see the light of it at the end of the corridor. It was not there before, you are certain. It is there now.
On saying this, I'm going to use my last potion of healing because
Okay.
it will be back to good.
You may do so.
Okay.
So, what do you wish to do?
There's not much that we can do except follow it, I guess.
Yeah.
Yep.
Move
Then-
in formation.
Then you begin to move, walking towards this corridor. You begin. It is at almost immediately as you begin walking into the corridor. It is effectively bright light. You can see there is no scratch marks along these walls, and it is a bit weird in that sense. But as you walk further and further, eventually you begin to see the shape of the room. You see another furnace far ahead, where this bright red light is coming from, this churning fire that is building within this large black obsidian furnace. You see what looks like pots of lava, or perhaps molten fire is the better word to use in this scenario, that is seemingly like providing the light in the space and is coalescing into a central anvil. You see it from afar, and right now there is no other sound but the sound of little pops of the molten fire every so often, making that little and the crackling of the fire just within the room. I'd say right now you're at the precipice. Like, you have not entered the room, but you are
I
outside.
don't know how big the room is.
It is a very large room, so effectively the best way to Dana. So it is 20, 40. It is roughly about a 50 by 50 square, and then there are 4 corners to the room that are deviated by the lava, basically. It is easy to navigate from one section to the other, as they these are like, it's almost like a little, very, like 1 foot tall aqueduct vibe, is like how the lava's navigating across. It is similar to the other forges in that you can already see from afar that there is a rune etched on the floor. There are no statues in this room, unlike the others. That is a bit different. But basically, each corner is like its own 20 by 20 foot square. And then there's like a little bit of leeway. So it's like a 50 by 50 square room. It is very high, about like 40 foot high, roughly. Like, you look up and it is high up. You can see that there is a rune etched up on the ceiling as well. But right now,
Familiar to anything I've seen in this
It-
forge?
it is reminiscent. It's you can tell that there is the symbol of Ankam. It is certainly more potent. Like you can tell that off the bat.
Looks like a trap. Type.
No, it does not. It does not look like a trap per se. Yeah. No, for now that's it. There's no objective trap. The room is empty right now. Yeah.
I mean, I guess we'll step in. Can I check the entryway if there's any traps?
You do so. Give me an investigation check.
Arcane, I don't know.
Yeah, yeah. Give me an investigation check.
Can I use the help action?
Yeah.
Investigation is that 24.
24. You look around. There is some kind of runes. There is some kind of magic, but it is not a trap. It is more so once you enter, you feel you will activate the room. Much like it's always happened in every other forge so far.
Yep.
You walked in, it registers that a person has entered. But so far, it has never reacted aggressively, and it doesn't seem like this should either.
I guess.
You walk in. As you walk in, you are the first to take a step in. You immediately feel a bit of warmth, and then you recall where you stowed the base item that the Forge Mistress crafted. In your case, it would have been a stuff.
Yep.
Settled that it was a stuff, and you feel it just warm in wherever you are keeping it, whether it is stowed on your back or perhaps kept on, and you notice that it is recognizing that this is where it is meant to go. Yeah. Do the rest of you step in as well?
Yes.
And you indeed feel the same. You feel your weapon, Ostra. You feel this. You had a new bow etched, right, Silen? For this, it wasn't one that you gave. Yeah. So you feel this newer bow. I don't know if you were using it per se to fight throughout this encounter, technically, throughout these various encounters.
Most likely.
Yeah. Then yeah, it is. You've been using it, and now you feel it resonate a little bit. This warmth, where you keep it. And as you walk in, you feel a presence kind of to your side, and you see a spectral form of Ankam. Looks at the three of you, who looks to the side, having apparated kind of to all of your left, and pulls out a set of full plates. Walks over to Ankam. My knight was not here to see this through to its end, but I would like that you at least give him a gift on my behalf. And hands you Sir Onslaugh's plate armor. I cannot stay for long. I can already feel the presence growing. Be wary.
Do you know any weaknesses to your champion?
Well, not any, but
Great talk.
just speak to them. Reach out. When you activate the forge, they will arrive. And she vanishes, leaving you the full plate, just so that our dear Onslaught can at least have his armor be enchanted as well.
I mean,
Fair.
after all the trouble you went through, I would like for
Yeah.
Yeah.
I forgot he also had.
Yeah. He was told Dana he had one ready, and the forge takes 4 items at a time. So it's like she thought it was fair that He at least would get that, since he couldn't be here himself. But yeah, you are in the room right now. The anvil is in the center. The anvil is far larger than the other ones in the other forges. The other forges, the anvils were regular size, like reasonably a normal sized humanoid would be able to work on them. This anvil is massive. Perhaps, like, even there is effectively like a stair, like a couple of stairs in front of it. But it looks like an anvil for a giant. It's about like 15 feet high. Like it is a whole story and a half, like standing under it. But there are stairs that lead to its top, like for a regular size humanoid to be able to get to its surface.
I will start walking towards it.
You begin to walk, and indeed, as you walk, the closer you get to the anvil, you see the rune begin to light up and glow under you. You see the rune on the ceiling begin to do the same. And even the fire begin to slowly change color into this blue glow, much like the other forges. Have always been a tinge of blue. And yeah, you take one step, and eventually you are standing on top of the anvil, where you can see this like very thin line that seems to be where the items should be placed. There are basically like, it is a strange kind of almost diamond shape, but it is a very massive diamond shape. But there are 4 of these on each, on the anvil itself, where it seems like 4 items could be reasonably placed.
I will place my item. I'll place my stuff.
You place the stuff. You
I will
see,
place my glaive.
you see the line glows, and it almost creates like a slight visible barrier around the stuff, as it seems like it has been locked in place. You place your glaive, and indeed, it does the same. Would you place you were given the full plate, Ostra, since you are
Yes,
Anthem's, and you place the full plate as well.
It's bugbear sized, okay?
Yeah, no, it's
grab
heavy. No, it's fucking heavy. Selene, you do the same. Yeah, you place all 4 of your items. These barriers form around them, and you kind of take a moment, like take a bit of a step back. Like there is enough space on this platform for all 3 of you to be standing. I get that most, I'd say the skeletons might be at the foot of the stairs. There wouldn't have been enough space for all of them to be around with you, but they are at the foot of the stairs. And as you all kind of wait, you begin to just hear this like almost like hammering on the anvil. Just ding, 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 ding. 4 distinct hammerings on this anvil, and you see the items dissolve into the anvil, and the furnace awakens brighter, and you can see the spectral forms of your items in the furnace, and you begin to see the various elements. The arrows of lightning begin to move, hitting the staff, passing through the bow, becoming notched and shooting. The glaive swiping through as one of them almost like shoots into its tip and dissolves. You see the rune of the arcane recovery forge around this it's almost like signature glyph to Zenkela, and the glaive itself become a central point, as all the other weapons and the armor kind of converge around the blade, the packed blade of Ostre. You see the magic, this near divine, almost primal magic of Selene as the protection from evil and good forges around the items. You see these kind of like this rain of red as the blood you all have given begins to coat around, creating this miasma of various colors and energy within the furnace as all of your items begin to take form. And as you do, you hear something behind you land. You turn, and you see this humanoid figure riding atop what seems to be a horse. No, it has a horn on its head. It is a unicorn.
Ooh.
And this being you look to see its face, yet there is no face, there is no head. It is this headless rider, as standing, just riding atop this unicorn. You hear echoing in the room. You entered the forge of promise. And the voice began as like a booming, like radiant energy. And then it shifts to that voice that you've become used to at this point. That calm, peaceful voice. The forge. And you see this figure robed in white with a porcelain mask wrapped around the champion's torso, looking from behind. Welcome to the heart of the forge, champions. Let's see how you fare against my champion. And we will end today's session as this...
You wanted peace.
As your items begin to forge, this entity appearing before you. Perhaps once there might have been a challenge placed before you to earn your items crafting. Yet there is something wrong here. You feel the champion themselves seemingly not fully in control. And this small, like medium-sized humanoid figure just ever so persistently annoying you. We will end today's session right there. Lovely.
I swear, I thought you were gonna make us fight Grim.
No. No.
It's like, it's a big forge, and you've got the steps.
That's fair. That's fair. No.
Maybe for next time.
Maybe. I'll keep it.
No.
Forge.
There's a forge within the forge.
Yeah, this is just the miniature. This is the toy.
Yeah.
Lovely. All right.
And like descend the level.
Perfect. So, thank you everyone who stuck around. Hope you all enjoyed. Hopefully next week we might be doing Arcane Adventures. I know it was supposed to be this week, but things happen as they do. I will be uploading most of our older episodes tomorrow onto YouTube, and once that is done, we might also start doing the restreaming thing as well, so that maybe we can, get to revisit our old campaigns and remember what we've been through. But yeah, with that, we'll call today here. Good night, take care, and
Night.
see you soon. Ta-ta.
Ta.